Hi, my name is Sajid, and you're watching my YouTube channel. And what I do, I teach programming languages on this channel. And currently, today, this video is about Java programming language, and the topic I'm gonna cover is Java threads. So, I say welcome to my video, and I hope you will understand this concept fully well. So let's start. Okay, the topic is Java threads. So first of all, we need to know why do we need threads. So when we execute a program, or when we run a program, it starts running in sequence. Different like code lines, they are executed one by one. So but if at some stage you have to do a complicated task, and at that stage if that task needs a lot of time, or enough time to more time to finish, then other commands after that will not be executing, and your program will halt or stop as for until that particular task is completed. So how we can avoid such situation, and for this we have this concept of threads, where what we can do, if we have a complicated task, we can execute it in a separate thread rather than in the main thread, and our main thread will be executing, and our complicated task, which needs more time to finish, will be executing in the background. So that's the concept. So let's look at this definition. Threads can be used to perform complicated tasks in the background without interrupting the main program. So this is what I just explained. Your main program is executing, and it will not be interrupted. It will not stop at some point waiting for some complicated task to be done, or be finished, or calculation is finished for certain thing. So for such thing, we send it into the background so that those such complicated tasks are executed in the background, and main program continues its execution step by step. So this is the definition of the thread. So now there are two ways in Java to create threads. So one is your class should extend another class called thread, and overriding its run method. So here is the extend syntax, where our class extends the thread class, and we are overriding its run method. And in the run method, in its body, we are putting the code which we want to be running in the background, or the task which we want to be executed or to be done in the background. So next we have another way to create a thread is to implement the runnable interface. This is second way. What we do, we look at the syntax here. What we do, public class main implements runnable. So we are implementing the runnable runnable interface, and then we have the method run, and whatever is important, whatever we want to execute, we put in the run method. So running a threads, how we run the threads, have now we seen how to define them. We just look at their syntax, and now we see how to run them. So running threads, for this purpose, if the class extends thread class, the thread can be run by creating an instance of the class and call its start method. So here, look at this example. Okay, we have a class main which extends thread, and then we make an object of this class, our class which has extended the thread class, and then we call the start method. And when we call the start method, the run method will be executed. So what happened? The code is outside of the thread, this code is running in a thread, right? So when our program is executing in the step, when I say thread.start, I am running run method. So if you look at the sequence here, the code is outside of the thread. The code is outside of the thread. It means the system.out.println, after this start method execution, it runs first and then our thread is executed. If I run it again, let's see what happens. Okay, it's again the sequence is our print line inside the main thread runs first, and then we have our thread, our main program thread, and then other thread which we have defined here, that is printing. So they are coming in a sequence. Now we move forward. The other way to run thread is like when you have implemented runnable interface. In that situation, it's a little bit different. What you do, you have done what? Like you have an object of main class. That object is passed to another object of thread class, and then you say thread.start, and then this program executed. So let's execute it. So this line executes first, and this is the line which executes second. So these are the two ways in which we can run our threads. Okay, students, my friends, my students, here a difference between extending and implementing threads. The major difference is that when a class extends the thread class, you cannot extend any other class even if you need it, but by implementing a runnable interface, it is possible to extend from other class as well. Like we can have a definition where my class extends other class and implements a runnable. So whenever you have to extend, you have just one class, and that is the thread class, you can use this way. But if you have to extend some other classes in your code, and in that case you can implement the runnable interface. So that's the way we define and run the threads in our code. Okay, so now we look at one problem in the threads. That is, because now two threads, your main program and your threads are running in parallel. So if these two executions, these are two separate executions, if they try to access or modify some shared resource like attribute or variable or something like that, what's going to happen? There is a situation that particular resource cannot be updated properly, or you don't know what will happen, or which one will update it first and which will update it in second. So such problems are actually called concurrency problems. So let's read these lines. These lines are very important. I would say that you should focus on every word in these lines because they have important meaning in them. So because an important message in them. So because threads run at the same time and other parts of the program, there is no way to know in which order the code will run, right? So that's the concept. This point is very important. And when the threads and main program are reading and writing the same variables, what happens? The values are unpredictable. So that's the problem of concurrency. The problems that result from this are called concurrency problems. So there are methods to solve these concurrency problems, but one of the most important way to avoid concurrency problem we will see here in this program. So let's look at this first this code example. Here what we're gonna do, we are incrementing a variable, a static variable amount whose initial value is 0, and when I am what's happening here, see here, its value is 0 and 2. How? It means after I have started running the thread, system.out.println prints the amount which is 0. It means neither our thread nor the main program has done increment. After 0 is printed out, we have amount plus plus. This time this code increments amount to 1. And before we reach to this last print statement, this run method increments it again, and then when we print the same variable, we have the value 2. Oh my god. So it means now here we see mismatch. I mean, after first increment, the answer is not like 1, it's 2, because this line executed before last print line. So these are the concurrency problems, and you are unable to predict at this stage after first increment, and when you're going to print second time, you don't know what is the value of 2. So this is a concurrency problem. How to solve it? There is one way to solve it, that is that to avoid concurrency problem, it is best to share a few attributes between threads as possible. Like first try to avoid sharing attributes between threads, but if it's mandatory, then there is ways to control it. One possible solution is to use isAlive method of the thread to check whether the thread has finished running before using any attribute that thread can change. Okay, so let's look at this example. Let's run it again. So here we have defined this thread and started it, and here in the while loop we are saying thread is alive. As long as thread is alive, we are waiting, we are not moving forward to print amount value and do its increment. So when run method has done increment and first time we print it, its value is 1. Then in sequence, now after this we can predict the value. We say amount is plus plus, and then its value is 2, right? System.out.println its value is 2. So in this way we are waiting for the thread to finish first and then move forward, and then our main program, it increments the value. So this was the way to control concurrency problem. So here I will wrap up my video. I hope you have understood the concept of the threads in Java. So if you have any question, you can ask in the comment section. I will try to answer, and please share this video, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back soon with another video on about Java or some other programming language. So by that time, take care, bye bye, and Allah Hafiz.